Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome
And welcome.
to Sunrise and Beyond.
That's right. Thank you very,
We're
very
on
much.
the same page.
To Sunrise and Beyond. And we are in Kotor, no cutting. This is a live show.
That's right.
That's a phone call. This is the first time we've ever gotten a phone call.
I wonder
A live call into...
Kotor, Montenegro.
Is it? No? Who's it for?
Oh, it's for Pete.
Okay.
Hello. Well, they're gone. Wait for them to call back.
Probably not a big fan of the show. Were they telling us to stop?
Is that what it was?
Stop the show.
That's good, isn't it?
The minute we go on the air, somebody calls and says, "Shut up!" You know, the one thing I found out, Mary, the incredible Mary Gruber, who is with me every step of the way. She's like the worst job on the ship for 2 weeks. But she said to me yesterday, she said, you know, unlike the other ships that we've been on in the past, Holland America ships have a tremendous plethora of channels. So there's a lot of things you can see. You can watch movies, television shows. You can, of course, see the shows from last night. But on the other ship, there were only like 2 channels, which meant that the viewership for our morning show was actually pretty high by default.
That's a good point.
Now that people have, and even when there were only 2 options, still there was only like 7 people watching. So now that there's really...
Probably 2, and one's just called in to tell us to stop.
So we have 1 fan.
1. But that's better than 0.
All you need is 1.
That's right. So we can build on that.
It's only our second show. Give us a break. Give us a chance. Don't tune us out, at least for just the next couple of minutes. Because let's talk a little bit about... well, first of all, this is so exciting to be in Kotor. This is my first time to Kotor.
Is that right?
Yeah, I've never been to Kotor.
This is a truly incredible place, folks. Yeah, I mean, as much natural, pristine beauty as I think you'll find in any place in the world.
So you're saying even more than Dubrovnik yesterday?
I mean, Dubrovnik is it's the pearl of the Adriatic, as I'd like to express.
Did
as
you
much
come
as
up with
possible.
that phrase, or
I don't know.
is that something that you borrowed?
It might have been Lonely Planet or me, but it was one of the 2.
Okay.
So, look, I'll take credit for it. But no, I think with Kotor, I mean, this place is so incredible from where you actually we're sailing into this morning, that your day could be made if you just stood on the deck on the ship and looked at the place. It's truly incredible.
You know what else that you could do that your day would be made? Now, this is just a rumor. I don't know anything for sure, because nobody tells me anything around here. But I have heard that there could be a surprise at the clock tower, which is kind of the main square.
Yeah, that's right.
Right
As soon as you come off the ship, you just take the road. You can't miss it. Take the road and just head to the left, and all the crowds will be sort of filtering in there.
So at around 3 o'clock this afternoon, and we're in Kotor till 5. I think the ship goes off at 5, right?
Yeah, all aboard 4:30, I think, for a 5 o'clock sail today.
So you could, on your way out of town, stop by the clock tower around 3 o'clock. There could be, right? There could be. I'm not promising, but there could be a little surprise. 3 o'clock.
That's right. That's the rumour. That's the second rumour of the week.
What was the first?
That you're grey.
Oh, not really a rumor anymore.
No, that's out.
Although it is out. I have to say, yesterday at the autograph signings, I met so many people, and all the Greys on the ship now were
There we are.
telling us to shut up again.
That's how So we got 0 now.
There are other channels, ma'am. Turn the channel. All the Greys, both men and women, were like high-fiving me all morning long.
Really?
Yeah. And I thought I want to get all the Grey people in one big picture. Do you think it's possible?
I mean,
This is sort of like turning into the Grey celebration cruise.
we could organise it, I'm sure, but then, I mean, for me, it feels our cruise. It's so we bring everyone together, whether they're grey or not. It doesn't worry us, does it?
It doesn't matter to you if,
No,
if you're Grey?
not at all. So I think, I mean, our cruises, they're so inclusive that I think if we want to get a photo with the Greys, we got to get a photo with everybody.
That's right. So maybe we should do a whole ship photo. We've never done that before.
Yeah,
How's
great.
that possible, though? Can we do it at
Well,
the
I'll
clock
tell you-
tower at 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock, yeah. There's a rumour. Well, I think we would have gone close on our sail away from Venice. I mean, that was a huge party out there. So
Nearly everybody was out there.
yeah,
We had somebody come to the door, but now they've gone. And this is a secret place of where we actually record
That's right.
our morning show. Secret.
it's like the back.
There's the
cave.
door shamming,
There
slamming
it
shut. Did you get that, William? Loud and clear. William is our cameraman. Thank you, William. I wanted to
Thank you,
say,
mate.
do you want to turn the camera to you? No? No? He's a very handsome guy.
He is.
Not gray. In case
No,
you're
no,
wondering,
no,
he is
no.
not gray.
He's not great.
Sorry to blow the the secret there, William. So, a couple of highlights from yesterday.
Yep.
First of all, wonderful to see everybody in the autograph line. Really, really wonderful group of people on this ship. I'm so proud of our family, of our cruising family, and so many of the people that I met. The vast majority were people that have cruised with us in years before.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a really good mix, actually, of people who have been with us before at the Dave Cos cruise and a bunch of people experiencing it for the first time.
We love the newbies. We love the newbies. So thank you so much for a wonderful autograph session. And then the day in... Now, this was one of those classic moments for me, because I was in the middle of the autograph session, and I was with Q, and Q said, turn around. And I look back, I was up on the crow's nest, and I look back behind me, pouring rain. I mean, pouring rain. It was probably maybe like 11:30, something like that, 11:30.
Yeah, about 11-ish, I think, yeah.
And I started to freak, because even though I have no control of the weather, obviously, but I was thinking about the 2,000 people that are on this ship and the day that they're looking forward to, and having to kind of shuffle everybody's schedule, and well, rain kind of can put a damper on what you have planned. So, and then I just sort of put it out of my mind, finished the autograph session, and by the time that we finished, the clouds had parted, and it was absolute glorious sunshine in Croatia.
Another
for our day.
another magic day. It's incredible. We got that luck.
Yeah. Hopefully you had a great time in Dubrovnik. It's a truly magical city. And when you got back on board, I do want to say before we left the ship, Vincent Ingala.
I wanted to mention that. That was absolutely extraordinary, that show.
He teamed up with the UK collective at the Sea View Pool, and it was wonderful. Those guys had it going on. And of course, with the view in the background, up in the aft pool, it was exceptional. And Vincent is one of these guys. If you haven't seen Vincent yet, really, before the end of the week, you have to see his show. Whatever he does, whether he's playing guitar, drums, keyboards, saxophone, of course. He's an incredible guitarist.
Yeah.
He's really focusing on the guitar for this particular show.
Okay.
Guitars and vocals. And he's one of these kids at only 24 years old. He's got so much talent. Bursting.
It's endless, isn't it?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
it just pisses me off, actually. I told him that last night, or yesterday at the after his show. I walked up to him, I gave him a big hug, and I said, I'm very angry with you. I'm going to get over it. This will subside eventually, but I was very angry with him because of how good he was.
Yeah, he's a great act.
And
a great guy, a sensational guy, Vincent.
And you know who else I heard just raves about from her show yesterday? Not just her own show, but also when she made a very special appearance in the Great American Songbook, is Aubrey Logan.
Yeah,
another
absolutely.
new artist for us this year. Did you see any of Aubrey?
I did in the Queen's Lounge on night number 1 after we left Venice. I saw some of Aubrey's show and it was fantastic. And then I caught just the tail end of her at the Great American Songbook before I was up at the Masquerade Ball that night. So
Yeah.
no, she's been great all week and a lovely girl. I think a great addition to our family here on the cruise.
Yeah, it's been a whole heck of a lot of fun so far. And let's see, other highlights. What other highlights?
Well, I mean, the big one, of course, was an evening with R&R. And I mean, there was very little doubt that those guys were going to bring it. It was there. It's great fun as always.
You know what's so great about them too? They are, and let me just talk from a musician's perspective for a moment. When a trumpet player has a connection with a saxophone player, that's a sound that we all know and love, going back, to the days of bebop, when you get a tenor player and a trumpet player playing in unison together.
Yep.
It's a very magical thing, but it is a symbiotic relationship, so it has to be, you can't just put a trumpet player with any saxophone player and expect it to sound good. So Rick and Richard have this bond between them that when they play together, it's like all the atoms in the room just coalesce to make it everything just feels perfect. I don't know a better way to describe it. That's the way in my head.
That sounds good to me. I got nothing. I'm not going to describe it as good as that.
So these two guys have that chemistry on stage, okay, which is great. But not always do you take that chemistry off stage. But they are like best friends, right? They're really, really close friends. And then add in their wives.
Yeah.
Camilla Elliott and Christiane Braun.
They do know how to have a good time.
And the four of them, I saw them walking off the ship yesterday into Dubrovnik after their sound check before the show. And they were walking like the foursome. It was so cute because not only are the guys great friends, but the wives are great friends. And the four of them are just like this power foursome, as I like to call them.
Yeah, it's great.
Really special to see. And it's so nice to see the musicians that are on this ship to entertain having a great time with their loved ones too. That makes me feel good.
No, for sure. I think it's all part of it, isn't it? All part of the energy that everyone brings to the table, guests and our artists and everyone that's on here with us. That's what makes it so great, I think.
We have a meeting, just to give you a little behind the scenes. We have a meeting, sort of what we call AMCs, which is artists, musician, and crew meeting. So all the people that are working on this cruise, we all get together on day one in the afternoon to sort of have a game plan. And as I said, I'm going to make a little speech, and I said to everybody there, let this be a played vacation. That's the term that I like to call this. It's not a complete vacation, but it's not work. This is meant to be, and that's hopefully as guests that you feel that the musicians and artists and everybody that you see that are entertaining you are having a great time too. Because if you see that, then you're going to have a great time.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all part of the magical.
Don't you feel like you're on vacation a little bit? I know you have to spend the mornings with me, and I'm sorry about that.
That's great. No, look, it's certainly the most incredible job I've ever had. I'll say that.
You mean this?
Maybe
the morning show,
maybe not this show, but overall,
you would like me to step aside, so you just take it on by yourself.
Oh yeah, it'd be good fun then. Then we would have no one.
Or one viewer would turn away.
He's gone. But no, look, you can't even call it a job from my perspective. I just love being with all of our guests and the artists and musicians as well. And I said at that very meeting, it's almost like going on your annual, vacation with your friends.
Yeah.
Coming back to this cruise for me, I just love it, and
it's a big
I'm
reunion.
having an absolute blast. I could not be having a better time.
Yeah, and just a beautiful group of people. It's
Absolutely.
like a family reunion.
Yeah.
A couple of other highlights from yesterday. I want to say a big thank you to Javier Colon, who did a phenomenal show called Gravity last night.
And what about Justin Hopkins and Dylan Chambers as Hall & Oates? That was fantastic.
Those guys, they took it to another level, did they not?
They're really talented, those guys.
They're super talented, but then they also know how to have a good time.
Absolutely, yeah.
They
Oh, you're not kidding there. Justin Hopkins, he does know a good time.
And then I want to say a big thank you to my dear friend, Candy Dulfer, for throwing a huge Dubrovnik dance-off last night. That was at the Lido Pool, right?
Seaview.
Seaview Pool.
Yeah.
As we left Dubrovnik. And she is... And just even the first night when we did our little walk through the dining room, we had such a fun time. Candy, this is the first time that Candy's been on our cruise, and I'm kind of a bit of a psycho fan of hers. Don't tell her, and I hope she's not watching right now. But
she's not.
She's
not watching.
She's definitely not watching. But I really, really love her, and I love Tamara, and I love Ivan, who she brought as her singer, and they're going to be turning it out tomorrow night for Ladies' Night with Sheila E.
That's right.
Or Sheeler, as you
No, Sheila. Sheila.
No, you call her Sheeler.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
Not anymore.
Really? How'd you fix that? You had an operation?
It's a bit of a tough one. It's a long story. I guess we've got one viewer, so it doesn't matter. We can take as much time as we like. But
all afternoon.
When I first came and was working on the cruise ships in the States, it was very hard for people to understand me because of my thick Aussie accent. So I used to have to try and change things, like when we'd say I'd say do that fast. That's the way I generally say it. But in America, you've got to say, I'm going to do that fast. So the A's are totally different. So I'd get into this routine of rolling my R's all the time. So I'd sound so people would be able to understand me more. So I think it was only like on the first cruise we did in Alaska in 2011. I'd say, please welcome Sheila E. Where Sheila is, well, not so much anymore, but back in the day it was a word that Australians would use a lot for, a sort of a slang term for a lady. She's a good Sheila, or she's something like that. So it was quite ironic that I would roll the R on Sheila or E. So I'm getting through it, and Sheila's always been great to me. She's never pulled me up or anything like that. She's always been very nice.
Well, to you. She pulled me up.
Yeah, no, I understand.
She said, what's the deal with the Aussie dude?
Yeah, so, look, the great news is for me is Americans are always so incredible to me, and wherever you sort of go in the world, I think you get a bit of a leeway if you're an Aussie because,
Well, you make it up in many other ways.
No, I appreciate that, mate.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
So
Pete, by the way, if you meet Pete, if you meet him for literally 30 seconds and give him your name, in the 31st second after your meeting, he will give you a nickname. He'll just start calling you something that's not your name. It's just the way it is. That's just how great is that?
Yeah, no, I love it.
I love that about you.
It's very hard for me to actually, if someone says, one of the young ladies who works on board, her name's Samantha, and I said, do you go by Sam, or... She said, no, I like to be called Samantha. And it's sort of thrown me a bit because, we're not used to using full names in Australia. Yeah. DK, your manager's MG, Yeah. So
my sister, RKW.
RKW.
What do you call Hopkins?
Hopco.
Hopco.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about Michael Linkton?
Linktoes.
Dylan
Chambers, DC.
Uh-huh. So sort of your default really is the initials.
Yeah, if they work. If they work together, it's good.
What about Candy Dulfer?
Well, CD for a musician probably doesn't work. The Dolph, maybe.
The Dolph.
Candy. Yeah, I'm going to have to work on it. We'll get back to our one viewer tomorrow, I guess.
Okay.
I'll try and
Stay
come up
tuned.
with something for day 4, but...
That's right, for Sheila. And
Sheila E. Candy Dolph.
I could tell that you're actually, it hurts you to say Sheila.
It doesn't.
It hurts your mouth.
It doesn't.
I can feel it from this far away.
We also had singers and songs last night.
Oh, John Stoddard.
Yeah, and John
Stoddard was unbelievable at the Great American Songbook. Harmonically, amazing musician, amazing singer, and he really turned it out.
John's doing a lot of great stuff, later on in the week as well. He's a big feature in the gospel show, and also I think he's got a Frank Sinatra show later on in the week, which is going to be terrific
for our Icons Night.
Yeah, and what about the comedy of Ron Pearson last night?
Not just the comedy,
the comedy genius.
That's right,
of Ron Pearson.
He did do some genius things last night.
He did.
We're very happy to have Ron. Ron is a very well-known comedian, been on every television show, appeared all over the United States and internationally, and this is his first cruise with us. And he really went both feet in.
Yeah, no, that's good. It was great to see, I thought.
He's got a juggling class that's going to be happening.
That's it. It's today on. No, it's today on the back deck.
Is it today?
It's today on the back deck.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I have to go to that.
I know. What's going to happen if it's windy? He's got to.
I hope it's windy because then we'll see how good he is. Is he going to juggle?
Is he the juggling genius or just the comedy genius?
Well, I think we'll find out.
Okay, we'll find out today. All right.
But he's not juggling chainsaws, right? He's not one of those guys.
Yeah, I don't know if that's been cleared by the captain.
Yeah.
So
Holland America may have a problem with it.
They may.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll get back to you on that one.
And finally, it was such an incredible event at the DK After Dark last night was the music legacy of George Duke. Wasn't that great? JB hosting that for us.
And I want to say a big thank you to Chris Walker, who really took the reins on that show and pulled it all together. We had a bunch of guest artists that, well, as I mentioned on our first show, George Duke was a guy that, and I know I don't have to explain this to our guests because most everybody on this ship admired George and loved his music. And he gave so much, not only as a keyboardist, as a singer, as a producer, as a guy who nurtured talent. so many people in the music business owe their career to the incredible George Duke. So this was a really nice way for musicians to celebrate his music and his contributions. It was a really special night. Very special.
It's great stuff. So on to today.
Yep. Kotor, Montenegro.
And so we've got about 35 minutes, I think, till we pull up this morning.
Okay.
And it's going to be a 7 a.m. arrival here in Kotor. Plenty of shore excursions going on. And as Dave said before, look out for something that's possibly going to happen around the clock tower at 3 p.m. this afternoon. And then when we do come back on board, as we mentioned, the juggling class with Ron Pearson at the Seaview Pool at 4 p.m. And that is also at 4 p.m, I should say, Spargatini at Sea, the walk-in candy store in the Crow's Nest. Can you tell us a bit about what Candy's going to be doing?
Well, Candy Dulfer, who we've talked a lot about on this show, is also, in addition to being a phenomenal musician and singer and entertainer, she also, with her partner Tamara, business partners, they have this line of designing not just apparel, but also design goods for the home.
Okay.
And they work with Crate and Barrel. They work with a bunch of other retailers. Candy's from the Netherlands, so she's incredibly popular there, but all over Europe too. You can find their stuff. So I think that Candy and Tamara are going to bring some items that they've designed, not for sale, of course, but just to show their design process. She has such a, if you've ever seen her, you know that she's got a very keen sense of style and design. She really knows what she's doing. So this is a chance for not only for you to meet and visit with Candy, but also see a little bit of the other side, her non-music side, because she's just a creative person. That's what she is.
And there's also going to be some martinis served as well, it seems.
Well, why not?
Exactly.
Why not?
Sounds good to me.
Sheila is going to be hosting this is an annual event for us. It's a chance for you, our guests, to get involved, pick up a percussion instrument, and get into that global beat. It's a drum circle that's going to be happening. That's at the
Seaview Pool. Yep.
Okay. And that is going to be so much fun, because drum circles, that's a chance for people to get into that rhythm of life.
That's right.
You know, that's like the heartbeat. We all started out that way. It was the first rhythmic, the energy that we got was from our mom's heartbeat. So this is really a chance to kind of get back into that groove, that basic groove of life, and nobody better to do that with than with Sheila E.
And the great thing
what time is that going to happen?
That's going to be 4:30.
4:30
for today. 4:30 today at the Seaview Pool. And I mean, the great thing I think about that is I love this event every year, because it gets our guests incorporated with our artists and our musicians and everyone doing it together, you know, which is it's a great thing. 5 o'clock in the Ocean Bar, we have Justin Hopkins and Dylan Chambers with some #1 hits.
Hopco in DC.
Hopco, DC. And then our
Thank you. We have one audience member. We have one audience member, by the way, other than William, who's our cameraman, and that we have to pay him to come. He also happens to be my manager.
We've got to ride it now as well. Yeah, he has to be here, really.
He has to be here. And I also have to pay him $5 on the side to get up to be here at 7 o'clock in the morning, whatever time this starts.
It's early. It's very early. Spargatini at Sea, Rick Braun. Beers with Braun in the Pinnacle Bar. And this is going to be from 5 p.m. this afternoon. And I do have some good mail that there are going to be some local Montenegro beers at this particular event. And let me tell you something. I've tried a few Montenegro beers.
Yeah.
And they're a good beer.
Oh, yeah. I think I should come to that.
You should.
I love hanging with Braun.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rick's Cafe the other night as well. I mean, I'm looking forward to that coming back. He's a great guy.
He's the best. Eric Mondragon. Eric is the leader of Santorini Soul, who's done an incredible job so far on this cruise. So far. Yeah. Well, they'll continue. That's our other guest, our other audience member over there. Eric, by the way, for those of you who don't know, Eric is 1/3 of the member of DW3, who are extremely famous around these parts. Not in KOTOR.
Well, no, they're big in KOTOR as well.
Well, maybe people do know them.
Not as big as they are in Los Angeles.
Well, in LA, they're like household names. DW3.
Right.
In KOTOR, maybe not so much, but they're starting. You got to start somewhere. But Eric is on this ship, and he's so excited.
Yeah, he's great
Fantastic.
guy.
He's doing a solo show, which is called Soul Man, which he's going to do some R&B hits for us, and that's 5:30 p.m. in Billboard on Board.
And then, mate, give us a bit of a taste of what to expect tonight at your show as you take over the main stage.
Okay, Neon Night. Neon Night. We did this maybe 4 years ago. We had a Neon Night. I think it was on our Rome cruise.
I believe that's right.
Pretty sure. And it was really fun. So we decided to do it again, but we're going to take it to another whole level. And the Westerdam gives us the opportunity to do just that because we have some special effects up our sleeve. So the band and I are going to be taking the stage. We've got two shows, 6:30 p.m. and
9:30 for our guests with gold cruise cards.
And I am excited. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be a high-energy show to match the wattage on stage, the neon wattage.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And some special, very special guests. And I will say this, that today is about, well, you know I like surprises, right? So at the end of my show, towards the end of the show, there will be a surprise that for me is going to be a coming home, a return, a reunion of epic proportions. Now that is putting an awful lot of pressure on myself. But
you've done it.
I feel confident.
Well, that's good.
So if you come to the show tonight, 6:30 and 9:30, at the end of the show, you will experience something that is indeed very rare, that can happen very rarely. But I think it is very exciting. Exciting for me personally, and hopefully exciting for the others involved. Am I kind of being a bit...
No, I don't think so at all.
Vague, purposely?
Maybe. I mean, we've got...
Do you know what I'm even talking about?
I don't, but...
You really
Well,
don't?
that's our one viewer and me. The two of us will be there, obviously, now that you've built this up.
You really don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
Even you don't know what is expected.
No.
I love this.
Yeah, so, I mean...
So I've not mentioned what I have up my sleeve for the end of my show.
No.
Okay, great.
No, well, I mean, I was looking forward to it already, but now it's...
We're going to be playing... there's one song that I always have to play for Pete, and that's a song of mine called Honey Dipped. And why don't we talk just for...
sure.
I hope I'm not stepping out of turn here.
No, mate.
By talking about your dad, the Bruiser.
Bruiser?
And Bruiser, who passed away about 5 years ago?
No, 2009, I think it was. So, I mean, it's gone incredibly quick.
And Bruiser was on this ship. This ship is very special because the Westerdam was my first cruise in 2005, right after my mom passed away.
Right.
This was the first place that we came. And then a few years later...
2007 Dave Cos cruise, it was actually... The last time, I mean, as we mentioned before, my cruising experience has been, a lot of years at sea, but this was the final ship that the Bruiser and I ever sailed on together on the Dave Cos and Friends cruise. And then, funnily enough, a few days after that cruise finished, the last place we ever went to dinner, the last restaurant we ever went to dinner together was Spargatini in Seal Beach.
Wow.
And I remember that day, very well. Mindy was there, Peter White was there. It was one of the brunches, the Sunday brunches that they do so well, Kerry and Laurie. So it was a great thing. So for me, it's a great thing to come back here once again on the Dave Cos cruise, and I'm sure Bruiser's with us somewhere. But he was an incredibly big fan of Honey Dipped. He loved everything.
He loved that song, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He loved it.
So we're going to play Honey Dipped. That's
That'll
one song. That's
Thank you
one
very
song I
much.
can actually tell you right now. We are going to play tonight, and we will play it for you and for Bruiser.
Thanks, mate.
Wherever
Appreciate
he
that.
is, and for you.
No, that's great. I'll be there. I'll be there for that and the surprise.
Good.
It's
a big one at the end of the show. After the shows tonight, our Neon Night continues with the Neon Night pool party with Santorini Soul. Our phenomenal DJ, Will Real Soul, will be also up there at the Lido pool. That's the midship pool. And Jay Gore will be teaming up with Vincent Ingala in Peter White's pub, which is in the Gallery Bar. tonight for their guitar duo. You're going to hear two phenomenal guitarists playing songs together. That should be a lot of fun. They've worked really hard on this show too. You know, these side shows that we put together are not things that just are thrown together. That we maybe a month or two in advance, I'll talk to the artists and say, well, what about doing something like this, a little out of the box? What do you think? And then they'll give me some feedback, and then they'll take it and run with it. And I had a conversation in Venice with Vincent and with Jay about this show. And I said, so what do you got planned for your guitar duo? And he said, oh, we've been working on this for a month. I mean, really.
Yeah.
They put that much time and energy and effort into that. So these are not just throwaway shows. These side shows are very important.
You see a lot of it all week on board as well. I mean, these guys have been rehearsing together for, as you say, a month before we get on board, and then they're fine-tuning everything on here as well. And I think it's great because it makes everyone's time so much more special, And then every event you go to is absolutely top-notch.
Speaking of which, there's a biggie happening late night tonight, and that is Heartstrings with Jonathan Butler and his beautiful girlfriend Nadira, who also happens to play violin, and not just play violin. She almost becomes the violin. And so you want to talk about symmetry, some chemistry that they have together. They're together. So playing music together is another whole level.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that
What's
show.
JB? Hey man, come along, man. Pull on your heartstrings, man. I love JB.
I hope he's not watching.
He's
It's
not.
called Collaborations. Heartstrings, Jonathan Butler and Nadira. That's in the Ocean Bar at 11 o'clock tonight.
And then back again, we actually had these two people, I believe, on the first night, Paul Jackson Jr. and Patrice Rushen, collaborating together in Billboard on Board, and it was phenomenal. Did you see any of that show at all?
That was at the Queen's Lounge.
That's right.
That was at BB King's. And by the way, I've heard this from a few people that they can't find the Queen's Lounge because it's not listed on any of the things, because that was one of the things in the refurbishing. Did we talk about that?
Yeah, we talked about it last night or yesterday morning, I believe.
But hopefully people are getting the hang of it.
Yeah, so on the map, very simply, folks, on the maps of the ships that you find throughout the Westerdam, the BB King's room is what we're calling the Queen's Lounge in our program. And after the refurbishment, which happened just a couple of weeks ago, that room originally was the Queen's Lounge. It's now name has been changed. So anything that you see listed for the Queen's Lounge, Deck 2, midship, and a lot of great events there throughout the week.
So Paul Jackson Jr. and Patrice Rushen did an amazing show on night one there at the Queen's Lounge, BB King's. And tonight they are reprising that, but they're doing it just the two of them. Just piano and guitar. It's collaborations in Billboard on Board. Marcus Anderson is going to be doing music from his latest album called Limited Edition with the LA Collective, who are also doing their own show a little earlier in the Crow's Nest. And Marcus Anderson he's new to our cruise, and he has made some serious fans in the last couple of days.
He's a great guy. I've really enjoyed my time with Marcus. Really
phenomenal
lovely
dresser,
guy.
too.
Yeah, beautiful dresser.
He could help you. I mean,
What? He could help me.
He won't, but he could.
He could. Well, maybe
He could help me.
I should have a word to him. Maybe I should just have a quick word to him.
We can both hire him.
Yeah.
See what he can offer us. There's a blues jam with the BB King All-Stars that's happening in BB King's late night, 11:30, and then we've got another show in the main stage from Ron Pearson. Midnight Laughs with Ron Pearson, the main stage. That happens right after my show, and that is midnight to about 12:45.
And that's our day.
Sounds pretty good.
There it
doesn't
is. Another big one.
I think it is a big one, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it's going to be great.
But most importantly, we are in one of the most beautiful, it almost feels like this is a land that time forgot. There are very few places on the planet that have been sort of untouched, that still have that very pristine quality. And Montenegro is a place that's been there for thousands of years, of course, but hasn't really been quite discovered yet by the masses. And so we are here today, so hope you get off the ship, have a wonderful day, whatever you choose to do, but hurry back onto the Westerdam because we got lots planned for you tonight, and I look forward to seeing you in the main stage for the big Neon Night show. Any final words?
Mate, just I think a couple of tell us what you're celebrating, and we'll be off into Couture for a great day. Firstly, we have Barrington Owens celebrating your 60th birthday. So happy birthday to you, Barrington.
And we've got Face, who I met yesterday, re-met, I should say.
Is that from the A-team?
No, this is her nickname. Annetta Grady Freeman, and she is celebrating, and I quote, kicking breast cancer's ass the second time. Praise God. She says, quote, breastless but not breathless. And
That's
so,
a great
Face,
quote.
I want to just say congratulations to you, and there's nothing more important to celebrate than life itself.
Yeah, congratulations.
We're very happy you're here, and very happy you're healthy.
We have Richard and Betty Kelly, and they're celebrating anniversary number 38. Congratulations to you folks. What a great achievement that is.
Yeah.
38.
Fantastic. Victor Robles and Carol Payton are celebrating a birthday. It doesn't say which person is celebrating birthday, so I want to wish happy birthday to both Victor and Carol.
Jane Banks is here with Alan Banks celebrating Alan's birthday. So a big happy birthday to you, Alan, from all of us here on Dave Cos and Friends at Sea.
And what about this one? We forgot this one. Diane Misasi is celebrating her husband's retirement. Doesn't give her husband's name, but we want to say to Mr.
Misasi?
Mr. Misasi, happy retirement. Way to go.
Therese Turner celebrating your birthday. Happy birthday to you, Therese. And we also have Lisa Newman and Paul Newman celebrating some renewal of vows. Thank you.
Do you need these?
I don't think so.
You're a young man. How old are you anyway?
It's classified, isn't it? No, these are worse. That makes it worse.
Okay.
How old are you? How old are you wearing those?
I definitely need these. Have a wonderful day in KOTOR.
Enjoy.
We appreciate you watching, if you're still watching. And we'll see you back on the ship on the Westerdam a little later this afternoon for another incredible night. Night 3, Neon Night. We're going to bring the wattage big time. Have a great day.
And surprises. Plenty of surprises. 3 o'clock.
Surprises.
3 o'clock, yes. Clock Tower.
Clock Tower in KOTOR. And then on stage tonight.
At the end of your show.
Yeah,
I am
big
excited.
surprise.
I am excited for this.
Have a great day.
Have a great one.